team like Kyrie and KD, or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s, but no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawg, and we back to it. You know how we do it. NBA legends and players explain how Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. Shout out to the Bird gang. Shout out to all my Magic/Laker fans, man. It's a lot of y'all on the channel. I appreciate all of y'all. So this video is for y'all. This video is definitely for y'all. Go ahead and like this video if you like it. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know if you agree with this, because I hear a lot of fans, a lot of like commentators, YouTubers, podcasters, people like that always say this. Like, they always say Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. But I never really heard that from actual like players, like NBA legends and players. So I'm actually curious to see what these players are gonna say about that, because that's like a pretty, you know, crazy thing to say about people that's in the league, to say like, yeah, there are other players. My teammate saved the NBA. Like, I would have been out of the league if it wasn't for my teammate or this opponent that I played. So I'm curious to see what players they have do that. So let's get into it. We got NBA legends and players explain how Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. Let's get it.
The 70s marked the decline in popularity and financial struggles in the NBA, but two transcendent players named Magic Johnson and Larry Bird ignited a fierce rivalry that captured the world's attention and changed the NBA completely. I'm going to show you NBA legends and players telling you how Magic Johnson and Larry Bird saved the NBA, mixed with some stories that will give you insight into how game-changing they were for their teams.
Oh yeah, by the way, we just got some first looks on Winning Time Season 2. And I will say that this rivalry will be a big part of Season 2, y'all. So y'all don't want to miss it. There's no actual release date yet. I'm hearing it's going to be like early August, you know, around that time. But stay tuned, man. You know, I had the pleasure to play Norm Nixon. I was the body double for Norm Nixon in the show. Super crazy experience, you know. I love that experience. So it's coming soon, y'all. It's coming soon. I just had to throw that out there. This made me think of that. And then the fact that today we got some first look pictures on Instagram. I think it was like Squire or something like that. I'm not even really sure. I'll probably put the link in the description, but it's coming, y'all. It's coming.
In the league. Without these two legends, the NBA would not be what it is today. Enjoy the video, man.
Up until that point, it was a stigma that Michael Jordan, all he does is win scoring titles. He never wins championships. That was my chance to get in the category of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. What Larry
even
was
Jordan
able to
knew.
do on and off the court. It defied description, and it was very much like being on tour with the Grateful Dead, in that you never knew what was going to happen. You knew it was going to be fun. You knew it was going to be great. You knew it was going to be dynamic.
Shout out Bill Ward.
Explosive. But you could never say, that's what's going to happen.
Showtime was born when he arrived. Personality off the scale. Energetic 24/7.
Matthew gets straight down the middle. Still going.
Hey!
How did he see him?
I always say that if I had to pick a team, he's my first pick, because I know he's going to make whoever else I pick way better than they are.
All right. I want to ask everybody that's watching this, that's a question I want y'all to answer real quick. You got the first pick. Don't matter who. Like, obviously it's gonna be prime somebody, but anybody you can choose. You got the number one pick. Who you picking? Are you picking prime LeBron, prime Will Chamberlain, prime Michael Jordan, prime Magic Johnson, Larry Bird? Like, let me know. Like, obviously there's gonna be a lot of people that say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. But that doesn't necessarily mean with the number one pick, that's who you'll pick. Like, you may want a point guard, you know, it's a guy that's going to get other players involved. You may want that big man to, you know, be big in the middle. Like, it's just a lot of different ways you can try to choose for that first pick. So let me know if you got the first pick, you the GM of an NBA team, and you can have the number one pick for anybody in their prime. Let me know who you choosing.
I think Bird and Magic
I might pick Kobe just because I got to.
saved the league, and I think the league took off when the Detroit Pistons showed up on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Bird and Magic, you know, what the NBA was coming out of in the 70s, and how the United States was. I mean, we have to talk about that now. How the United States was for black men in the 70s. And then Bird and Magic being on the stage in the early 80s, coming out of college and then, you know, playing that game again. Magic coming to LA, Bird going to Boston. You know, they walked into culture. They walked into a foundation. They walked into a way of being. They walked into winning. They didn't have to, you know, get a piece of paper and go to school and get educated.
Right.
They walked into it.
Magic Johnson.
That's actually a good point that I never thought about. So, like, yes, they saved the NBA. Yes, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird probably arguably, you know, in the top 5 players of all time. But do you think that they still could have saved the NBA if they would have went to the Portland Trail Blazers and Cleveland Cavaliers? Like, I think going to Boston and going to LA was literally the best thing that could have happened to them. Like, yes, their talents speak for themselves, but they needed that already built-in culture that Isaiah is talking about. Like, I never really thought about that. So, like, you kind of got to give a credit to those cities as well, man, because they helped make these players global. And, you know, I think that helped the NBA even more. But let me know if I'm off on that. Or do y'all think, like, no matter where Magic, no matter where Larry Bird would have went, they would have still saved the NBA? Like, let me know.
And Larry Bird are the 2 most important figures in NBA history.
I agree.
Well, people don't understand, to answer your question, people look at this thing now where guys are making $30, $40, $50 million. When I came in,
A year.
it was
Charles Barkley.
David Stern's first year. The average salary was $200,000. Magic and Bird, those guys changed the entire trajectory of the NBA and made it what it is today.
Oh, mercy.
The thing that always stands out to me about Larry was his unwavering confidence. I mean, he had a level of confidence that was far superior to the rest of us. And I think that we were all very confident people.
He's trying different kinds of shots this year than he did any time in his career. When you walk out of the locker room,
I think that has a lot to do with the work he put in. When you put so much work in, you're going to have that confidence that, you know, I put in more work than this guy that's guarding me. Like, I know this guy goes out, he parties. Like, I'm saying nothing wrong with partying, but, like, that's just like an edge that you can kind of have on a person when you know that this person don't work as hard as me. And I also feel like being a very great player, you have to be, like, in a way, kind of delusional. Like, in a way, that might not be the right term I'm looking for, but, like, you kind of had to have that, I'm the best motherfucker out here. Like, I don't care. Even if it might not even be true, like, you got to believe that. You got to be like, I just know, like, I'm better than you. I'm better than everybody on this court. And, like, that's half the battle. Confidence is half the battle. I always tell people that. So, like, you kind of got to have a delusional way and just be like, I can miss 150 shots in a row. But that 151st shot, I believe is going in. So, I mean, that kind of is delusional in a way, but I think you need that. I think you need that. And somebody help me try to find a better word. I don't want to say delusional because I think it kind of seems like a bad term. But, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that.
here's this guy that's like, you know, let's go, let's get it on, let's do this, let's do that. So all of a sudden you got this college atmosphere with the Lakers because Magic brought all of that fear. He came in, man, he's pushing that ball up the floor, and we were like, we gotta run. And if you didn't look up, and he was
hey,
look up, Wood, hey, and the ball was right there.
I remember the first time Magic, when he made $1 million, we were going around high-fiving each other. We couldn't believe an NBA player made $1 million.
Wow.
That was Magic. He was the first player to make $1 million.
What year was that?
It was 85, 86, somewhere in there.
But he signed like, was it like a 20 year?
25 years, 25 million.
$1 million a year.
25 years.
And we, like, me and Doc and Moses, like,
right.
I'm not talking about regular guys on the team. I'm talking like, they had never made $1 million before. But it's all, so the state of the league was like, 2 black, bunch of druggies, a bunch of thugs. The finals were tape delayed.
It's crazy.
There was only one game a week.
That's crazy.
And it's all because of Magic and Bird, who changed the whole dynamic of the league. So every time I see those guys, I want them to know, man, thank you.
Outscore you, you can out-rebound you.
Bird kept it alive to Walton for 2.
That boy be hustling, Larry Bird, man.
He's better than you. He can defend better than you. He can lead better. He can dribble better. He can set up
Look up.
plays. He can
Let's see a dunk.
He could do it all.
Bird winds
What
up
couldn't Larry Bird do?
Yes, Bird's last 3-pointer. So
And you know Bill Walton gonna give people their flowers too.
Bird back door.
There's another time we played San Antonio where Larry was like 10 for 10 from the field, 10 for 10 from the line, and early in the fourth quarter, we beat him by about 20, and he told Casey, he goes, "This isn't any fun, coach. Take me out." He goes, "This isn't." He goes, "They're not even a challenge tonight."
Bird winds up again, 3 points.
Someone get hurt out here playing against these scrubs.
Let's talk about your peers. We have the cover of the Street and Smith annual basketball issue, and there it is, Larry and Michael and Magic. When you're on the court with either of those guys, do you ever say, "Wow, I wish I could do that," or I wish I would have done it that way"?
Yeah, I'm amazed by certain things that they do, and sometimes it is a sense of trying to intimidate, imitate one of those.
Or intimidate too, whatever the case might be. Right?
But I love playing with those guys because they're going to be very competitive. They got hearts just like you. They want the ball when the time's running out. And they're one of the greatest players in the league, and sometimes it's great to play against players like that. And a lot of people compare us, and a lot of people put one above the other, which I don't think is fair to either one of us. But it's fun. I love being around them.
And those two guys, Magic Johnson.
And shout out to Michael Jordan for never calling himself the GOAT. I don't want to throw no names out there, LeBron James, but Jordan never calls himself the GOAT. He gives respect to the people that came before him, and he always say he hates the GOAT debate. He never was a fan of it. So that right there kind of just goes to show that he really is the GOAT.
Larry Bird saved the NBA. Really saved the NBA from really going under, because at that particular point it was only maybe 4 teams that were making money.
Yeah.
Out of at that time I think they might have been 22 or 24 teams in the league. And these two guys came along and they just kind of saved the NBA. So, all these guys out here just making all this money, they owe Magic and Larry Bird a lot of kudos. They both made guys better. They both made their teammates better. They both cared about nothing but winning. They didn't care about individual stats and MVP trophies and none of that stuff. They cared about winning. They both had incredible, basketball IQs. They both were unbelievable on the court as far as seeing the game and making passes that you just didn't see. Neither one could jump very high. Those are
they both just got some nice dunks, though.
They both were 6'9". But
I guess they were 6'9".
The ultimate competitors.
Yeah.
And Larry did a little bit more shit talking than Magic. Magic would talk only when you really got up into him and started messing with him. Then he would be like, "Oh, okay," But Larry was talking from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. He didn't care.
That's crazy.
But I think those similarities is the reason why those two guys were so competitive.
Yeah.
It started in college. Indiana State against Michigan State in the most viewed televised NCAA game in history. Watch these two guys go at it, and then that kind of carried over into the NBA.
That Jerome Kersey is going to give him some aggressiveness, particularly against Larry Bird.
Jerome Kersey's guarding Larry. And I think his first 8 or 10 points were left-handed. And at that point, McHale was still coming off the bench. And so Larry scores his 6th point on some kind of left-handed shot.
Bird against Kersey.
Look at Bill Walton on the sideline. Bill Walton always been showing love, man. This is crazy. Look at him on the sideline. This is Bill Walton. I ain't like y'all can see where I'm pointing at, but I think he's the guy with the wristbands on, right next to the coach. And as much as I always say I love Bill Walton because he shows so much love, like as an older, Hall of Fame player, he always showed love to the up and coming rookies and the old school players. Like he just showed mad love to the game. So I always loved that. But he been the same way. Like I'm just watching him on the sideline right here, and he the only person really getting hype every time Larry Bird score. Look at him.
Point on a left-handed shot.
About to do it again on this one. County, man. Shout out to Bill Walton, man. Show mad love. I'd love to meet Bill Walton one day.
He's the Bird, another 3-point try.
Well, left
Bird was going crazy.
but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one. I think it went right down the wire, and we might have won by 1 point.
You're right there. You got to keep them under control. They don't.
Because I got to win the game now. That left hand shit cute, but we got to win.
Magic come down and do his thing, you know, and orchestrate his team and make them understand this way, this we gonna run this. And, I mean, I was
that Tim Hardaway?
You know, and Don Nelson, he had called a timeout, had to take me out the game because he's like, I hope you're not going off and watching him and not really playing. I wanted to tell him, yeah, I mean, I need to sit down for a minute because why? It took me a half just to realize that I'm playing against Magic.
The one thing I think Magic brought to the team is that he was a leader. After a while, you didn't look at his age because you looked at his basketball IQ. And it was as high as any coach that ever played this game, and some of the best with Jerry West and Bill Russell, just to name a few. His basketball IQ. This guy's 19 years old. So we knew he was special. It was going to be a lot of fun. And boy, it was almost like going on a Beatles tour or a Rolling Stones tour. It was a tour, man. It was a ride, and we all enjoyed it.
That fake? Oh, boy, what a play.
Well, we had Larry, which was a great offensive
like
force.
Big Boy.
He had to respect
Big Boy
the
TV.
officials. And plus, he was able to create offense not only for himself, but for Kevin and myself. Now, one thing that the three of us had going for us, we could all shoot the basketball. We was all great finishers. Larry was able to create a lot of offense for Kevin and myself, but we got a lot of points. I like to go back and see how many layups and dunks I got because of Larry, his creativity.
Bird coming around. Oh, and across to Parrish.
What was the very best year for Boston? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably say 1986. But if that's not right, let me know the very best Larry Bird Celtics team, and then let me know the very best Magic Johnson Laker team. Let me know what years would that have been, and who would have won that matchup. Both prime Laker and Celtic teams.
When you play with Larry Bird, believe me, I mean, Larry's going to get the lion's share, and he should have.
Looping into McHale. Back to Bird.
Don't leave Larry. You can't leave Larry, man. You saw that highlight already, man. That's tough. That's tough.
Well,
is that Coach Orr? Shout out to Coach Orr. R.I.P.
Kept to himself. And that, I think, is one of the reasons why he was an ideal leader, because he wasn't very vocal. He led by example every night. Practices also.
Yeah, he played the game with a flair, okay? They needed a player, or we needed a player like him, who could do so many things. He could rebound the ball, of course, extraordinary passer, and a great leader. And, you know, to watch him, have the privilege to watch him as a 20-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, and go from Michigan State to come and make the impact that he made on this Laker team. And he was like a wild card because he could do so many things. And that's today why I think coaches, and particularly executives, admire players that have, they can play different positions. So if someone gets hurt, you're not hurt nearly as bad. And particularly when you're as great as he was. It just, maybe you put him in a position where we're going to be better than the player that was out. And his enthusiasm, smile, approachable, he hasn't changed a whole lot today.
Larry was a serious trash talker in the sense that he would challenge people to be able to either block this shot or get a hand up on this play, or so it was all in I think good nature, but still a way of challenging teams that we were playing against to be able to match his skills.
That's so
I
tough.
really do believe this. The basketball gods put them two players right where they were supposed to be. They couldn't have been anywhere else and they've been as successful. When you talk Magic Johnson and you're talking basketball, you've got to say Larry Bird. If you're talking Larry Bird, you've got to say Magic Johnson. And I think Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they changed the course of basketball to what it is today. And that happened in the 80s. So when I look at basketball like that, I'm very happy and proud that I was playing in that era, but I still see it as a whole, and the evolution that we come to today was set in stone in 1980.
That's when television and basketball really took off. You had the Lakers, you had the 80s, you had the floppy hair of Larry Bird, you had the style and grace and flair of Showtime and Magic.
I'm not a limelight type of guy. I'm not a self-promoter. I sort of let my basketball do my talking. I love to play the game. I don't know other athletes, but if they're treated as well as I was treated in Boston, they should be very grateful because it was the ride of my life. There's no question about it. It was the best time of my life, and I'll never forget it.
We ended up in the two most famous, franchises.
That's what I was saying.
The Celtics and the Lakers. And then his personality was Boston. My personality was Hollywood.
Right.
I mean, they couldn't have scripted this any better.
No.
Facts.
We actually brought the finals and all the other games to primetime TV.
Yep.
Larry and I changed the whole league, and also too, every other year, the Lakers would win or the Celtics would win.
Right.
The Lakers would win or the Celtics would win. So it was just great.
So guys,
Or
I hope you
Rockets.
enjoyed the video. And tell me, what is your
Or
favorite
Pistons.
Magic or Larry Bird story? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang. And I'm out.
Great video. I appreciate y'all for watching that. That was one of my favorite Larry Bird, Magic Johnson videos. I've done quite a few of them, combining both of them. And I really enjoyed that one. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and like this video if you like this video. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know what other videos y'all want me to react to. But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.